earlier today about a wealth advisor. So I don't know if it's you, I don't know if it's someone you're connected to, but this is definitely somebody's story. So I wanted to make sure I got this reading out. I'm super excited though. Next, I'm going to do a divine feminine, divine masculine reading. So I'm super excited about that. But let's go ahead and jump into this, find out what's going on with this wealth advisor. To the best of my knowledge, this wealth advisor was like brought into this whole shmoney scheme um, by way of maybe the church coven. Yeah. Wow. You had started to exude some real strong financial capabilities. Um, yeah. So maybe this was some years back, I don't know, you have to kind of put it where how it resonates, maybe. So there was a wealth advisor that maybe came to you or was presented to you in some way, shape, or form. um, all right, this was at a time when your finances were really strong. You had a strong financial presence in everything that you were doing at that point in time, it looks like. You were fierce and determined to finish, like, getting to your goals, and it looks like that's what the problem was. You being strong enough to really be pursuing your goals. It's almost kind of like people looked at you and like, not that person again. Like, that person's got everything. That person's totally winning, and people did not like it. Okay. All right. So all right. Okay. Okay, this whoever this financial advisor was also knew the family. I got that this came through your cults and covens and those types of individuals. Oh, it did, it definitely did. It did come. This is where this initiated. Um, that's where it initiated, and then they left it up to, I guess, the family to make sure that the next step went through, or they just kind of always knew that you would. They kind of always knew what you would, but with respect to your family, when you brought it to your family's attention, that's what let them know. So maybe at some point you had shared with your family that you were doing really well in business and that you were, moving forward towards having a lot of wealth that you were going to be getting, and you weren't bragging. People took it as that. You weren't bragging. You were explaining to them the new things that you were learning about having such financial wealth and success. Look at this. I mean, literally, it's the Strength card, the Hierophant, the Ace of Wands, the Magician. Okay? This is your energy. You had manifested this. You've been working hard. This is that same energy, like you were helping to bring everybody else up, but then they were looking to tear you down. Like, it's just constantly the story. So with this wealth advisor, um, okay. The download that I got was like, I'll get to these two cards in a second. The download that I got was like they had one to three people from each one of these different groups. So there was groups A through D that we talked about the other day in the reading, and they had 1 to 3 people in each of these different groups. Group D's 3 people, just because of the dynamic of that group, because that group really didn't know you. There was just a gentleman, there was a man or a woman affiliated with this Hierophant energy type group. I don't know if it's the Masons or whoever. This group only had knowledge of you because of that person. So it was like someone from that group that you had a physical relationship with or romantic involvement in some way, shape, or form with. And then they probably had a family member that was involved in this group as well, like a sister or mother or someone, a brother, attorney, somebody that was, and a random ex that were all affiliated with this group. Because again, these people are like lifetime schemers and scammers, right? So they They somehow knew that they could make a claim. They knew who, that was also who helped them understand like who could make a claim on these things and who couldn't. And I'm just going by my downloads because sometimes it's like, what's the point in the cards when I have the downloads, right? So essentially, they knew that they could, but other people didn't know that. So the investigators started with any affiliated insurance companies that the scammers had used. So whoever this wealth management company used, and whoever these scammers had used previously, they started searching with them first for policies that were under your name or affiliated people with this group of crime people, of scammers, essentially. And so that helped them narrow down and locate lots of old and current new policies that tie into previous deaths. So that's pretty much how they're getting caught up right now, or have been getting caught up, or whatever it is. I don't even know anymore. So anywhere from 7 to 10 different policies were out on you. And because of the amount of money that I guess you had made, like on the books, in tax workers, etc., the previous year, the tax accountant was in on this somehow. Maybe went around your family or through your family or something like that. So your tax accountant and this financial wealth advisor or something like that you had kind of found, or found you. So it's one of the two. I think it was more so like found you, that you just happened to know, like, oh, I'm moving into a different, people will refer you. And this person may have even said that, like, oh, we will refer to you. And you just kind of went with it because they were reputable, right? It was an actual business. And so essentially, they located a lot of the policies that tie into these previous deaths that are affiliated with this crime ring, this RICO crime group. Anywhere between 7 to 10 policies were taken out for you alone, for someone in my collective, for you specifically. There were like 7 to 10 policies taken out, 3 in like, or so, 2 to 3 in each group. What the thing was, the premise was, is that they understood the way that they could claim this was that, oh, they knew that you and they were affiliated with you closely, right? Because all these people had close affiliations with you. Now, the rumor that they've been spreading is that you're not doing well, right? You're on drugs, you're mentally incapacitated, you're this, you're that, right? So they're going to claim that they took out these policies because they saw that you were in a bad time. And then they may have even went so far as to, well, I'm sure that they used your identity. So they used your identity. And then they also went so far as to send money via Western Union and whatever, I don't know, to whomever stole your identity in other states to make it look like you were just hopping from state to state being a sex trafficker. Like you were just a call girl. Just going, clearly I have no business in that business because I'm still calling it a call girl. I don't even know that. So essentially that was going to help their testments, like, oh yeah, when she contacted us or he contacted us and wasn't doing so well and called and asked about money, we figured it was probably best to do this so that we could help take care of their kids or to help look out for them because we knew they didn't have anybody or they didn't have whatever, right? That was their support, right? And the wealth advisor was the one who chimed in and let them know, like, how many they could put in each state and how to spread them up amongst different insurance companies so that they wouldn't raise any red flags with opening these different policies. This is such a convoluted thing. I'm just kind of like flabbergasted when I get these downloads. I'm like, what? Because I could see how this, may be, attractive to someone who, I guess, has nothing else to do with their life, has no desire for themselves. But anyway, so essentially, let's say, for instance, you made $100,000 that year. Let's just put that as a nice round even number. You can get an insurance policy on someone anywhere from 10 to 15 times what they make. So essentially, in one policy, someone who makes $100,000 is worth anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million payout. When you've got a wealth advisor, people who've unalived people many times with spell work and, all this knowledge of like what's happening around you because they're creating it. This should go off without a hitch. That's the issue for you, with them, for you, of you. The issue with you from them is that you're still alive. this money they need. That's why that energy of like, we want them dead has been presented in the collective, is because they feel like this was the whole point. This was the whole point. Either we made them disappear um, by putting them into trafficking and getting them all messed up and blah 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 blah. Get them involved in this ourselves, which they knew you would not go for that, or actually unalive them, and that's why they've run into so many problems. Because when you solicit murder for hire and you, like all these other different things, so there's a lot of crimes that have been committed, and they didn't realize that. They thought that they were just being crafty, not crimey. I don't know. Okay. So that was the whole thing. They were going to say that you weren't doing well during this summer or something like that. And maybe you had let your kids go with your family for the summer because you were in preparation of an actual move that you've been planning or something like that. Like you were already in preparation of moving, so it was just helpful. So they tried to set it up a lot around that. Okay, that's the premise. I think one of the things that actually got them jacked up too, with as far as like the investigator, because there's an investigator that's been on this. The thing that the investigator noticed in the way that they were able to like take you out of the group of actually being a part of the ring is because your location at one point in time, they were somehow wiring money to a location and you were somewhere completely different. And there's like proof, like everybody that's anybody that ever knew you or looked at your social media knew. So there's too much verifiable information that shows you somewhere else. Plus, you, I don't know, I kind of get the fact that they were gang stalking you through your phone and stuff like that. They kept track, the criminals kept track of your location. So they just did a lot of the groundwork for the detectives to be able to eliminate people a lot quicker, because that's one of the things they didn't think about too. Like they think that because they changed their phone numbers and stuff like that, there's no way to connect the dots. There's always several dots, especially when you're sloppy like these people. I feel like this is like a sloppy group. Maybe the last, I want to say 3 to 6 years, maybe. This case has been building up. And it just hit a new level, when it reached the collective. Maybe because of the earnings and the potential, because if this is one policy that we're talking about could be worth 1.5 million just based off of $100,000 income a year. So imagine if they had taken out multiple ones. So every 2 people that take out the full maximum of a policy is going to be $3 million. And let's say they had up to 6 people, a few here and there from each group take out a policy. So now let's say they have 6 policies. That's 3, 6, 9. I don't do math in public. I just did it. That's $9 million. They go around telling everybody, no, look, here's the policies. We got all these policies. We got the financial person that knows. They're going to make sure, because that's the other part of it. So this financial company, because they help establish these insurance policies, they know exactly what to say to these companies when they call them for any type of verification. So, and you had willingly given your information to this money management advisor person, company, etc., which is, because you're growing your wealth, right? It's crazy how they used literally everything against you that you were trying to do that was formidable and useful towards the benefit of you and your children off the back of your hard work against you. Like, you literally found someone to connect themselves to my actual life insurance policy, my, who my beneficiaries are of that, what's to happen to my children, like everything. These people were literally attaching themselves to everything and trying to make sure that they had control over the situation. Whatever they lost control at, kudos to you, collective, because I mean, I get it. A lot of the collective knows that we've cheated death. Like, we've missed out on death a lot of times. I say that in a weird way, but we've cheated death quite a bit. But this was a really huge convolution it feels like how do people even feel comfortable grouping together over some pennies? If you think about it, the number of people, let's say they've, communicated and got around in the community. Let's say they got to a total of, because you don't know how big these groups can get, right? So even if they got to 300 people trying to split down $9 million over your head, it's just wild. It's just wild, the fact that people would do things for money like that. That people would actually take the time to go against someone so hardworking. A lot of things don't make sense to me that crazy people do. But anyway, looks like they're in regret now, because that's what came out. The beautiful Five of Cups. As they should, though. I don't know why they think they deserve anything. Yeah, they thought they were, it's like, it's such a mixed bag with these people, too. It's like, they thought they were going to be this way, but now they're not that way. Like, they thought they were going to be in this energy, this Nine of Cups, this, satisfied with everything that they had done. But really, they're all in regret. Just that husband and wife, too. That husband and wife that that husband and wife from the church coven or the sorority group or fraternity or whatever it is. That's the one where it said someone was like, I don't know, their husband or somebody didn't know what they were really getting themselves into. Wow. This is beautiful, though, because it's like you did exactly what you were supposed to do in this situation to really balance out your life and move forward towards your Ten of Cups. So, again, kudos to the collective. I shuffled and split, and it came back on the same two cards. So kudos to the collective. I think I want to move forward and do the love reading now, because there's not much else to say. So it's like there is. End it on this. You and your person, whomever it is, whatever it is that they're trying to keep you away from, this partnership, this union, this Ten of Cups, like being happy, the things that you were building for yourself and your children, you're going to have that. Look at this. The last two cards. You're going to have that. So whatever they were trying to do, clearly that plan has been foiled. I mean, it's here on my table. It came in a download, so there's nothing they can do, but sheesh, Luigi. That's why it was such a scramble and like a scrounge and like a frustration, because I was like, what is the fucking vendetta? What is the actual problem here? Why is there, any issue? And it was because they had basically racked up enough clout for potential money that they would get for harming you. I kind of even got a download too, that there was some black market kind of energy. Yeah, this person wanted to really, they were that's all that it was about. Money, 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 money. There was even some black market energy. Can anybody got the URL to that? What's the email? What's the address to the black market? I want to see where this stuff is held. Don't you? You ever wonder, like, how do I get to the black? Do I type in like blackmarket.com? Like, because I don't think that's how that works. But like, how can we? Anyway, where do these people find this at? Look, this is still more just about you and your union. Because there's like, if you keep up in these cards, I'm just going to talk about the union that's coming. Because now it's the Queen and the King of Pentacles coming out. So it's like you're just going to be victorious regardless. Wow. Look at this. So whatever, all their plans got foiled. I hope that they find. I actually hope that they are taking down this financial management person too. Because this person was a huge part of this wealth management advisor is what the person is called. That's the official title, wealth management advisor. I hope that they take this person down too. Because these people are aiding in like with your identity theft. You know what I mean? Like legit, wholeheartedly, because they get a copy of everything. They even get your blood, right? Because then they have insurance companies come out to run a good bill of health on you. That's the other thing too, collective. You good in health too? You healthy? You're healthy? Don't be healthy. Because being this way, my daughter says it. Don't be healthy. Because when you're healthy, like that just makes you more of a target. I don't know. This is wild. It's so weird to me too, because it's like they were perpetrating that you weren't any good, but they had to have the proof that you were actually all good in order to make this go down. But it didn't go down, so either way it goes. What is this about? Knight of Swords. I feel like that's you. I feel like this is the collective. Like, you saw what was happening. You kind of sat back. Look at that. Like, there was writing on the walls almost. Like, you could tell there was something afoot. You did not know. That's the energy I get. Like, you did not know things were afoot. Because, again, if you knew, would you have given your information to this wealth manager? Would you have communicated to all the people that were involved in this stuff? Like, would you have befriended these individuals? Absolutely not. Had them close? No. Had them even in a situation where they felt like they were entitled enough to try to make claim on the benefit of your passing and then say that it's for the benefit of your children when they were the reason that you're not even here? These people are completely beyond me. I could never. They're so like beneath us. That's the hard part. Like, it's because when my nostrils get to irritation about these people, I could never. It's so beneath me. And these people kept always parading around, treating you like you weren't anything. Like, they literally built everything on trying to make you feel like you were always less than. Like, oh no, you don't have this, and you don't have that, and you don't have that, and you don't have that. Just constantly trying to make you feel powerless and stuck. Look at this. And in this one, I've noticed too, it's not even this person feeling powerless and stuck. It's this person getting ready to hit them over the damn head. This person is working hard. And this person's here distracting them by putting their, whatever this is, their hammer down on the sword. And then when they look up, banging them right in their third eye. Just in case you didn't see. Just in case you didn't see it, collective, because I synced it. But you persevered through everything. You were like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to live outside. Okay, I'm going to wash my clothes in this river because this river is nice and cool. And then I saw this tree where I could hang my shirt out and be nice and fresh for tomorrow. You didn't care. You were literally like one of those people like, okay. Because you knew better. It's almost like one of those, if you knew better, you do better, and you knew better, and you fucking did better than they ever expected. Better than they ever expected. Better than they ever expected. Kudos again to you, collective. You're the shit. You're the shit, and they know it. They're burdened. They're burdened as I don't know what right now. Wouldn't you be, though, too? Wouldn't you be burdened as I don't know what? If you had done all of this and told all these people that you were going to get this money by tomorrow. And it didn't come in. They waited a year or so, it looks like, in some of these situations. A year to 3 years. Because if you add in time of like all the convoluting and, you know, the build up, 23 was on the clock. But yeah. You persevered. Oh, that's another download that I think is for the collective for this specifically. So I was watching a sermon today. I started to watch a sermon today with Stephen Furtick. And Stephen Furtick is one of my favorite pastors. And for some reason, I was reminded, because I think people don't understand, like people want to, a lot of these people are in churches, and this is the issue that I have. We need to be able to bridge the gap between religion and spirituality. Because people believe that this spiritual warfare is going on, but they don't have to fight it somehow, which is getting a lot of people stuck in a lot of generational curses and stuff like that are not, you know, being healed, being transformed, you know, all this other stuff. Okay, hold on. Because I was preparing it to myself in an email. I didn't write this down because I was working on something. So now I gotta look it up on the laptop. Isn't it just great we have all these places to keep things so we can try to keep up with them? All right. So the sermon that Stephen Furtick was doing was about Savage Jesus, right? And I loved that series because he breaks stuff down. He you know, and I love that. I love people that can go and get the meat out of things and make it very, 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 you know, easy to understand, even when it's complex or a parable, if you will, where it's like, yeah, like it's something you never thought, but like he's great. He's definitely great. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to find that email that I was writing to myself. I be sending love notes to myself, just like in the cards. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is just a little housekeeping thing. I've been hearing things that I say or I've said months and weeks and whatever ago in my readings, and I really love hearing all the things that I subscribe to becoming a part of what other readers are subscribing to as well now. I'm really proud of the specific readers that are acknowledging the fact that your sacral chakra, your vagina or your penis, is actually super important, and you shouldn't be weighing it and winging it all around everywhere. Super important. Somebody really came for me in one of their readings and about, because I try to tell people like it's important. It is. You see, that's how most of these karmic connections are even attached to you. Other than the ones that just come, it's harder to release those because these are people that we think are actually our divine partner and that we're supposed to be with and having a different, category, box, peg, whatever you want to call it, vision, perspective than any other person on the planet, right? It's what we all want. Oh, I'm super excited too because I got the download that I'm going to get the kind of person that I always wanted, but also that I'm going to get the kind of person that like, I always was like, yeah, I want one of those people like if they go, I go. If I go, they go. Like we going at the same time because it was real. So I'm super excited about it. Not that like I'm so morbid sometimes, but that's because I believe in additional lives. So it's like, yeah, let's do it till the end. Okay, let's go. Let's try to do this again. I don't know. Maybe that's the excitement of me. Anyway, comfort. Most of us have learned to run for comfort and cover to places outside of our calling because it keeps us comfortable. People get comfortable in dysfunction, right? And when you get comfortable in your dysfunction, you don't ever get to see your destiny come to pass. So when people get comfortable in dysfunction, that's enabling them to be complacent and not reach their full destiny. Clearly, right? People don't think about it like that though. I'm going to give a scenario. Someone gave a reading to someone, and in the reading, it was letting them know about their family, saying, hey, and the person was like, yeah, that's my cousin so and so. And, my auntie that I really love lives at the house with my cousin so and so, and I like helping my auntie so and so out, so I always have to go by, but then I have to see and be involved with that cousin. So you give them suggestive ways to like, oh, okay, well, set some clear boundaries with these family members. Tell auntie so and so she got to meet you, in the driveway. You don't have to go into the house to pick up someone. She was going to walk out to the car anyway. Anyway, I'm trying to help this person to understand how to create boundaries, etc., etc. I noticed I'm telling you it was someone I was reading with. I noticed at some point that this person was completely unable to disconnect or realize the fact that like they needed to disconnect from their family. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's the hardest one. That's your family. You love them. Or at least set really good boundaries. This person didn't kind of take heed to that warning and ended up falling prey to what I've been acknowledging in the readings was their point. Their point was to get you angry, to get you to fight, to get you arrested, to get you, dead or somewhere close to it, to get you completely screwed up, to catch you with your pants down in some way, shape, or form, right? And as a result, it's like, what do you do at that point? Because we know that essentially it's the comfort that Stephen Furtick was talking about. This wasn't even the section of the series that I was trying to find, but it was perfect for my person. That had, my friend that communicated this to me, the person, I consider everybody friends that's in my life, so just so you know. But this person was comforted in their dysfunction and they no longer saw it as a problem. They just saw it as people or places or things. Like some people get complacent in a job and don't realize like your job is what's keeping you. My job pays my bills. I'm able to, this is a means to an end. No, a means to an end is for you to actually end it. Like, okay, what is the end game? It's not just working every week and collecting the paycheck. It's the foresight. People don't get that. They get comfortable in the clocking in and being able to go out here and there with their friends to eat and to the this and that and get their this done and that done and whatever else. And they forget, like, the future goals, other things, the delayed gratification. That's a huge one that I was learning recently. Anyway, you become comforted in your dysfunction and no longer seeing it as a problem. Um, like eating a whole bag of chips. We don't see that, but we do, right? You see how that could be a problem, right? But it's comfortable. It's basically having enough discernment to let go of all people, places, and things that may be good to you, but not good for you. Because a whole bag of chips is good to me, baby. And some ice cream with some milk in it is good to me, but it's not good for me. And that's where people make the mistakes when they're stuck in comfort. Oh, this is comfort for me. This is comfortable to me, hybrid team. This is comfortable, so I'm going to stay here, even though it's dysfunctional. And it also brought to my attention how grateful, how eternally grateful I am to all of my karmics. Every single one of them. They don't want me to say this. Why you don't want my thank yous? I'm thanking y'all. Every single one of my karmics, because for these reasons. Because I'm in my own unique circumstances right now. That's one thing that we should always be grateful for, is that we're in our own unique circumstances because we take power and control over our lives. We're setting boundaries. We're removing people, places, and things. We're getting out of our own way. Like, yeah, you need to get this together. You really need to do that exercise. Whatever it is. You really need to start cooking at home. Whatever it is, right? You really need to pick up a second job. We're making those steps to be in our own unique circumstances, taking power and control of our life. And then 2 is because I understand how these instances, like whatever this person was going through or these people go through, I understand those because we've all been in situations where we got in a fucked up situation, period. Who hasn't been in a fucked up situation before? It's not the end of the world, but when you're in it, it feels like it. And emotionally, that's what these people want to do. They want to get you into these circumstances because emotionally it depresses you. And once you're opened up to depression, which I believe is a demonic entity, you're available for attacks. So essentially, this specific person who went to visit their family didn't take those steps to create the boundaries and not get as involved and got themselves in a lot of like pain and now that's traumatizing them and probably deters them from moving forward even more because now you're in a depressed mode. It's hard to explain. It's kind of hard to explain without giving up everybody's information, and I don't want to be that kind of person either. Although how would you ever know? You don't know anybody I've ever hung with ever in my life, so you wouldn't know. The only person that will know is me and that person. Okay, so I guess I can be comfortable in saying this person ended up in like a fight, physical altercation that left them close to not good at all, and it's like, damn. We hear about that too, right? We hear about people who go visit families and, there's so many more occurrences of accidents, emergencies, and deaths during family gatherings. Why is that? We gotta start examining this. Everybody wants to act like life is perfect and they are too. Bullshit. Especially if the times when you come together, we see occurrences of more accidents and emergencies. Anyway, and it also reminded me how like I'm grateful to be learning my lessons. I don't necessarily like to use the word blessings all the time because people have a negative connotation with it sometimes. But now today I actually came to acknowledge that like, oh no, I like blessings. I made a new word. It's a new word for me. I'm grateful to be learning lessons, which if you smush all of that together, you get blessings. Be learning lessons. Blessings. That's all you need to know. Blessings are you be learning lessons, so you receive great things for that. Anyway, which is the lesson itself, right? That's probably the most beneficial part of it is the knowledge of what not to do, which is clearly what these other people haven't been told, taught, or care about, which is leading them to all of these chaos and destruction, just like in all instances. And I don't think that people are actually paying attention to the fact that this is happening on every like you can't just say, oh, this is only happening over here, only happening over there. No, it's happening everywhere. There are very few places where this is not taking place. And those people have probably isolated themselves. Especially since COVID, a lot of people learned, hey, like, we really need this family unit here. We don't have to have all these other people. We can find things and entertain ourselves and have fun on our own devices just with our family unit. The people under our roof. In some instances, that could be 2 people and 3 dogs. I've seen some of the happiest people. I've met some of the happiest, most stable, most emotionally tempered, and like happy and in love people. A man, and woman, and they 3 dogs. It's 3 now. They had 2 first when I first met them, but like they've obtained more love in their life, right? And that's what we should be doing. Anyway, the issue that most people have with you, collective, is that you know how to let things go that are not good for you, right? Even if they're good to you, right? But you show proof that when you're wholeheartedly pursuing something in life, that faith requires that you be able to have discernment and to know that disruption is also proof that you are on the right track. So disruption is proof that you're on the right track, right? When you are going against things that, I don't know, this whole matrix, if you will, all these things set up against you. But it's proof that you're on the right track. This was also part of Stephen Furtick's sermon too. But when comfort no longer exists to guide you, so you're no longer guided by comfort, like, oh, I'm gonna stay in this, I'm gonna eat this whole bag of chips because I really like salt and vinegar. When you no longer succumb yourself to that area of comfort, so comfort is no longer your favorite place because it's led to complacency, right? It's no longer guiding you. Essentially, this is what happens when one thing in your life dies in order for another thing to begin. It's transformation. Honestly, I'll be totally honest with you, and story time. I had to let go of businesses and all kinds of things. I had to let go of relationships with other business people because they were literally stealing from me. Like, there's no doubt. There's like no working around it. But I had to be a strong enough person to say, you know what? If it keeps my stability and my sanity not to fight with this person and chase this person down to retrieve my money, who's better? And I got a lot of shit too from people who were like, well, you're so calm about it. Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Go batshit crazy? Does that get, how much quicker does that get what I need to me? If I have to chase and go crazy on somebody about some money that they stole from me, how does that help me? Tell me, how much time do I spend on that and what does it yield? It doesn't yield anything. It really doesn't. Because you're going after it in a mindset of that just because someone can take it away from you means that you don't have it. And that wasn't reality to me. It was like, oh, you took from me? Good luck. I wish you what you deserve. What else can we do in those instances, right? People were so mad at me. They were so livid. Like, why aren't you upset? You upset. I don't let anybody win over my emotions. Even if I needed every penny of that money, which I'm sure everybody needs every penny of all their money, right? Did I go and get angry? Did I go scream? Did I go yell? Did I go cuss anybody? What for? It is not going to benefit me, and it's not going to change. There was a Native American lady that I met in one of my first situations in my spiritual journey, where I had to understand that keeping my even temper and not going off on someone was really incredibly important to my spiritual well-being, as well as my spiritual abundance, as well as my material. Everything that I stand to gain or lose in this lifetime is connected to how I respond to things, how I carry myself, the energy that I create around me. And so kudos to everybody in the collective who is doing all the hard work and moving forward in life in the best way possible. I don't even think I'm going to end it here. I'll just start with the downloads for the, I have it in a different live. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop into that live so the people who don't want to see this can actually just see the one about the divine masculine, divine feminine union. And then I think maybe tomorrow I'll get together the cards and do an Empress reading, because we haven't done one of those in a while. I have a sneaky suspicion though, like there's a lot of outside people. Yep, Spirit's like, yep, that's the truth. There's a lot of outside energy, not just the people from your past, because I feel like the people from your past are just, that's it. Every, chain has been broken there. It's with your past person's people. It's not that they haven't broken the chains. It's just that they are fresh to even being aware of the fact that that person was no longer available to them. Your people, all of your karmics, have been keeping a very close eye on you because they was waiting for you to unalive, and you did not unalive, and now their eyes been on you even more. Sorry. Hey, I gotta have fun with this. Anyway, that's the truth about the situation. Catch me in the other one for the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine reading. It's gotten pretty spicy too. Talk to you later.